to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulation.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, the dirt face, of course, was real scary.
Oh, there she is.
He's a label.
There's your little Nana. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. As always, powered by DealsInTheD.com. Mike and Jay. Of course, Ephus is here. Shalom, E. Jay, how are you, buddy?
Well to quite well. Thank you for having me back.
Of course. You look well to quite well.
Thank you.
Nice, did you get some fitful rest last night?
Fitful rest?
Sure.
No, it was good rest.
Good
it was
rest?
less than fitful.
Oh, good. Well, good. I know, Easus, you're probably on, probably, I know, sorry. You're probably a little tired today. You had a long night last night.
Yeah, man, that was a late night. He did go 3 hours, like they said.
Did you know any of his songs?
I knew like half
Paul
of them.
McCartney, of course.
Yes, I knew like half of the songs in the end. And you know, I gotta say,
Half? That's
The other half didn't ring a bell even. Like, maybe you don't know it all, but I've heard that
get
melody.
to the hook or something.
not really. But you know, honestly, I saw Bruce Springsteen
Boss
Sure.
Springsteen.
I've heard of him.
a few years ago with my dad, and nothing against him, man. He did the same thing, a workhorse, 3 hours. But he was in that mode where he's not playing any, it's all new stuff or stuff. I don't know. I didn't know any
He
of the
rearranges
songs.
a lot of the hits, and you don't recognize them at all.
And
Breaks them down.
Ugh,
and
it's awful.
19-minute versions.
right,
Dude, if Bruce Springsteen does Born in the USA, I should recognize Born in the USA. He got to the chorus before I was like, oh, well, he said Born in the USA. It must be that.
yeah. And then, as we know, I saw Bob Dylan, last year, and he was, disappointing.
Yeah.
Didn't look like he wanted to be there.
You're dissing on all the classics, man.
Yeah.
I looked
Are you
at
going to stomp on Tom Petty's grave next?
when I was at Bruce
Well, the
Springsteen.
classics are kind of stepping on us, though, by coming to town and then, like, dude, I know Bob Dylan's catalog. I've seen him a dozen times, and it's like, yeah, I barely recognize any of
Well,
these
and it's
songs.
just like he didn't look like he wanted to be there. Bruce, I think he did a good job, but I remember looking at my watch the whole time. For Paul McCartney, dude, honestly, it flew by to me. It was awesome. It was such a good show.
Yeah.
You were right, Mike. Like, even at one point in the end, he did different things where he pulled like half of the stage down with like a screen thing and tightened it up a little bit, brought up a different drummer, and then he's told a little story, and he did like the first song they ever did as they weren't even the Beatles yet, and like very, very early shit, and I was like, yeah, this is good, man.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, man,
Arena was good.
Rita was awesome, dude.
No objection from Big E.
Man, I thought it was really good.
Good.
There's this one area. I think it's just such a
Oh,
big
here
building.
it comes. Here it comes.
No,
He's gonna
there's
shit
He's
on
got
the
a
new
problem
arena.
with the new arena.
there's
great.
one area where the concourse tightens up a little bit, and there's not it was the one place I chose to buy my sausage, and there was nowhere to kind of stand. I was pretty much just leaning against the wall.
Yeah, that
Kowalski
stadium
quality,
sucks.
of course.
Oh, yes, I can only assume.
It's October. Show us your sausage month. Don't
Right.
forget, everybody. So tweet us, Facebook us pictures of you and your sausage, your Kowalski quality sausage or meats, and we'll throw you in a drawing for 6 months of free member content.
Yes. 6 months might give you enough time to get through all of it.
It might.
It might. Yeah, it
But it
sounds
was-
like
oh, sorry.
It sounds like it was a good show. I'm sure your dad enjoyed it.
Right. I don't know. When you say that second night he hasn't done 2 nights in a row, you've heard him before. So I don't know if his voice. It seemed great to me, dude. It was very entertaining.
Did you catch him when he first came out and he said, even though this has been a very sad day, we're going to celebrate the joys of life.
I did
I
hear
don't
him
know if that
say
was more Gene Simmons or...
That was kind of Gene Simmons / Bono. That was a bit
Was
of an
it?
Irish twang to it.
I wasn't feeling that. How
Yeah.
would you deliver that? It's the first line on the top. I think you do a better McCartney than me.
Even though it's been a very sad day, we're going to celebrate the joys of life.
See, I
The
have
joys
to...
of life. My name's Paul, and I play the bass.
That's what I need to do. I need to mimic it by doing that. My name's... how
Paul,
does
and
it-
I play the bass.
I
My
play-
name's John, and I play guitar, and I sometimes play the fool.
No, isn't that I'm George and I play the guitar. I'm John and I too play the guitar and sometimes play the fool.
Yeah, that's what I said, I think. No?
Did you? I don't think you said and I too play the guitar. I think you just said I play the guitar. Anyway, it sounds like he was a little bummed out.
Yeah,
with the reports coming in about Petty, and we'll
I
get
have
to
to
that in a
believe
bit.
he was somewhat close to Petty, right? I mean, George Harrison
sure,
was
yeah.
very close to Petty while he
Exactly.
was alive.
Yes.
So I'm sure he knew him fairly well, if not a buddy.
But they still didn't know. The reports were flickering as to whether that was true or not, that he had died.
It's funny because I guess I just assumed he was talking about Vegas because I didn't really know
Well,
about the other stuff.
I guess he mentioned that in sound check, that he was
Okay.
keeping an eye on Vegas. I don't know
Okay.
what Paul was going to do about it, but he was upset about that. And then obviously, the reports of whatever. His orbit, they say Petty was a close friend, especially with, as you mentioned, George Harrison, obviously with the Traveling Wilburys and alongside Dylan and Jeff Lynne and Roy Orbison. He did shake things up a bit for that second show, it sounds like, E.
Okay, so-
And I was glad about this for your sake, because he took out the Wings song, Letting Go, fine. A solo song, Save Us.
Okay.
I was like, okay. But then he added Drive My Car.
Oh, so that wasn't in the first night? Oh,
I don't
that was
think so.
awesome. For me, you're right. That was better because I totally know that song. Like,
Go ahead and sing a stanza.
Yeah, you got this, E.
Just a chorus.
No, I don't.
Baby, you can drive my car.
That's the only
You
part
can do
I know.
the beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Did you guys all sing along with that?
I kind of, I didn't know it well enough to sing along. I will tell you the one
Did you
time
shift on your heels?
I was doing, I was kind of doing the clap.
Nice.
Yeah.
On beat?
Probably not. But
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But go ahead. Sorry.
No, also, I've just seen a face, which
I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place that we just met. She's just the girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met.
Day Tripper.
Nice.
Day Tripper. So adding those and
Yeah.
taking away a Wings song that we might
all
know,
day long.
maybe. Yeah,
I
agree. They did A Day in the Life, and then
Yeah,
I
I
guess
was gonna
that
say
was the
that.
medley with Give Peace a Chance that we were talking about.
That gotta be honest. I got a little emotional. I got a little emotional.
Of course he did.
People had peace signs
Yeah,
and
with
Vegas had
Vegas and
just
all,
happened.
yeah.
It was I don't know.
Did you try to do like your peace thing
No,
to
no.
people, then your heart,
No.
EDM
and then,
stuff. Didn't translate.
then all the people
I didn't do
in
that.
the temple or something?
But I mean,
Here's the church, here's the steeple,
Steeple.
open the doors,
Doors.
and here's all the
Here's
people.
all
No, you didn't try that?
I mean, I swayed. I did the swaying
Okay.
in my seat.
That helps.
And it was just, I don't know. He did that, and when he did Let It Be, that was, I don't know. That was very emotional to me.
Yeah.
Like hearing it. Wow.
And then he said that he did announce to you guys, I don't need to tell you,
Right, of
but,
course.
that the song had been added to the set because in today's world it's very appropriate.
Again, you're going Irish there.
I know,
not sure.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You know what, dude? I always have struggled with the Brit. I don't know why. Why is the British accent so hard for me?
I don't know.
I don't get it. Like, I can slip into other voices just fine. That one that most people can do, like if he was Chinese, I'd have no problem with it, you know?
I'll try it in Chinese.
Yes, the song has been added to the set because in today's world it's very appropriate.
You know what's funny that
I mean,
you
There you go,
No
yeah.
problem. Smooth as silk.
Bam, nailed it.
Jump right into it.
It's funny that Mike would go into his Chinese accent because I don't know if he always does this, but he says he does, that they try to pick up a few people in the crowd if they have like funny signs. Like he actually was like, whether it's him or whether it's his hand, whatever, somebody. And two of the people he brought up were front row Japanese people, and he asked them like where they, their name, and I don't
Where are
remember
you from?
Right, and I don't remember what their names or where they're.
Yes, you're from Japan. Thank you for having us.
Yes, it was very. I think she did like a ooh, yes,
Sweet.
yes, a bow.
Hey, got to tell you about the Hamlin Pub. They have 5 locations: Clarkston, Chesterfield, Rochester, and 2 in Shelby Township. Hamlin Pub offers a wide selection of craft beers, most of which are brewed right here in Michigan. They have great happy hour specials as well, Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, and half-off appetizers on Monday. So check out all their specials at all 5 locations. Go to hamlinpubs.com for more info.
But dude, he kicked ass, man, and like he even had like pyro. I mean, he had fucking fire.
Sir Paul.
and
Think back to like Candlestick Park, their final show, and it's like nobody can hear us, and so they stopped touring, and now he's got pyro.
Yeah.
dude, and there was like he did, Helter Skelter, and like I mean, he had production like. Not that I wouldn't expect him
That
to be
band
good, but like a
cooks,
young,
too, don't they? Isn't that band amazing?
A young guy, like as if it was any rocker. I mean, freaking the light. I mean, Jay, you might have actually had an issue. The lights are going
Really?
around
I
so
might have
crazy.
seized.
You might have had an issue, man.
Kurt Eichenwald over here.
Yeah.
And the
Seizing
arena.
up at a McCartney concert.
But yeah, you're right. The arena, dude. You guys we're going. in October,
We're
right,
going
for a game.
We are.
I can't
Looking
wait.
forward.
It's
I am
really-
too. I really want to see that new stadium. Everything I hear is great. Was the sound good? I know
I mean,
people were
you know,
complaining
I
about
was-
the sound.
Dude, you're asking a guy who doesn't know that Blink 182's drummer is good.
I know.
Also, I
He
was
plays
literally-
the drums, no different than anyone else.
I was side stage, so I don't know if that'd be the best. I mean, it seemed fine to me. Although one thing I noticed that I think this must be different.
He doesn't know. No.
This must be different, man. This must be from the new arena. Like, remember at the Joe Louis, if you were in the lower bowl, but if you're behind the net, like you were on the same level, you know, even as people at center ice. So like you really couldn't, like you couldn't see almost. Like if you were 10 rows above the glass.
Yeah, you wanted to be above the glass.
And so like we were a little higher up, but it was like when I looked to my right, because I was
Did McCartney have glass?
no, but my section was I was far enough on the side stage where I
Boards
was
were up.
I was far enough
The
side.
full
No,
hockey
here's-
rink up.
he had netting.
Did he slip at all?
No, here's my point. I was side stage enough.
Goals are
that-
out there.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
I was side stage enough that I'm sitting where you would be. I was on that side
Where the glass would be in view.
where you'd be behind the net, behind the goalie, because you can't see down the ice because it's and they're raised up. Like you looked over to your right to the center ice, and those guys are like lower than you.
Ah.
So I think it like I don't
sight
know.
lines.
It either goes on a higher
wow.
angle or something. But so like if you were sitting behind the glass, you'd still be able to see the other side of the
Oh, that's good. That's
arena.
good to hear.
So
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah.
was like really cool. And you know what's funny to me is
That's a nice fact that he just brought
Yeah,
us.
it was kind of informative. Nicey.
the banners
Yeah.
must be set to raise up and down if they need them or not. There was no banners, but
Well,
I've seen pictures before of
Technically, they raised the banners, so I would think they would
No,
also have a system in play to lower the banners.
No, but no, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't,
When
I
you
don't-
got-
A pulley that might go two ways.
Wait a minute,
they make
you
those?
fucking asshole. When you go to fucking concerts at the Joe,
Once
they
it's raised, it's there,
They
right?
still
That's
have
your
all the
point.
Yeah, it's
championship,
stationary.
but they obviously did a situation where hey, if we don't need them and they're
Yeah.
going to be in the way, they raise them up for concerts and they'll put them back. And I wonder if for Pistons and Wings if they'll.
It's kind of part of the fun, though, to go to an arena and see
I
the
kinda-
banners that are
I
up
know,
there,
but
whether
I'm
you're at a
sure-
Paul McCartney concert or not.
That is
Now,
kind of
E, last question: Does the building look like it's 50-50 Wings Pistons? I mean,
No,
is it
dude.
Fucking wings.
dude, it looks like a hockey arena, man. I'm sorry for the Pistons, dude. I get it. I know they
Hey,
kind of
man,
came in like.
they had a nice arena of their own,
Right.
and still do if they ever
Sure
want to go
did.
back.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks and feels like a hockey arena, man.
Dude, that's so true. They had their own home. This
They owned it. He
beautiful-
owns it. Goris owns it outright.
and they've
He
put,
gets every penny of every parking spot, every piece of concession, everything that goes in there.
and that's true. Parking. It's not like you park all over the city. It's like this is your
He
giant
pulled
parking
up
lot.
stakes and went downtown
Dude, I know, dude,
just to be downtown.
And after it was like, I don't know, halfway or 3/4 of the way built, it's not
I
like it was
know.
designed.
I know.
Like in the right out of the
Yes,
jump
dude.
to be like half Pistons and set it up that way. Now it's just like.
that was an
okay.
impulse buy.
Plus, we just learned he dropped $50 million on the thing like a
Right.
year
Yes,
earlier.
he
It's
did.
just- and now we're just gonna throw that away. Whatever.
Well, I'd just say I would
Demolish it.
say two more, and one of them you know when you go you can see or whatever. One for me, like the concessions were awesome. There was so much room in the concourse, all that stuff. But I thought once you walk in, isn't gonna still just be a stadium, right? And man, when he was going and like the lights, you know, but the house lights up and you look way up there, it just looks really cool, man. Really like modern.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying, Jay, but on the same hand, like when I walked out of the exit, the one exit, dude, you walk out. We happened to walk out on where Woodward was on your left. And man, it looked so cool.
Oh, of
you know, the
course it's better to
Rensen
be
was
downtown.
there,
Of
and
course
the
it
Fox
is.
was there. But
It's just a shame because usually when a team leaves a stadium, they should have left 10 years earlier.
Yeah, it's just
you know
run
that.
down. It's a Joe Louis situation.
Yeah.
But instead, you have this palace that is very viable.
no, you're
Yeah,
right, and
just
it's not a
for-
basketball stadium. It doesn't feel like a basketball stadium.
Well,
funny.
see how they do.
Yeah.
Hey, Zott Ford is conducting its amazing Key for Key event. Exchange your current vehicle for a brand new Ford without spending a dime out of your pocket. Zott Ford will assist you in terminating the remainder of your loan or your lease, no matter what you owe. This is a straight Key for Key exchange. Give Zott the keys to your vehicle. They'll give you the keys to a brand new Ford. Plus, Zott Ford will make your first payment. So please hurry. This is a limited time event.
Well, we're certainly learning more about the gunman in Vegas, Mr. Stephen Paddock. What's the death toll up to? 59 now?
I believe so.
And I
Over
believe
500 injured.
527 people in the hospital. We've learned he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
This story makes no sense, dude. And I don't think there are any usually there are leaks. We start hearing like what motives were, and there's nothing. I think they're just scratching their head at this point. Like, I don't know what to say. He took an arsenal of 23 guns into his Mandalay Bay hotel room, which he transformed into an elaborate sniper's nest. He'd made millions from real estate deals, according to his brother. He also owned 2 planes. Planes are not cheap. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
I am generally aware of that.
yeah, paper planes are basically the cheapest. But if you got one that actually you can fly on, it's not
With
cheap.
a motor.
Yes, exactly. And he had 2 of them. Several properties across the United States. He seemed normal apart from his passion for gambling large sums. But a lot of people that are millionaires gamble large sums. And the sums that I heard, 30 grand, 20 grand, didn't seem that outrageous for someone if he truly has that kind of money. He also had amassed a massive arsenal of 42 firearms. At least 1 was automatic, while another 2 had been modified with legal bump stock devices, which allow semi-automatic guns to give full auto fire of up to 800 rounds a minute. Dude, that's a lot of rounds. 800 rounds a minute. That's a lot of
That
rounds.
is a lot of rounds.
Oh, and those bullets, they're so big. Oh, my God. Can't even imagine. Oh, and he had military-grade ammunition. He took 23 of those guns into that hotel, set up 2 rifles on tripods at windows overlooking the Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival. Thousands of rounds were found in his suite. His car had several pounds of fertilizer used in bomb making. He also set up a camera in his room to film the mass murder, and cameras in the hallway to capture police arriving. How did no one see this and seem like, boy, that seems. Why is this guy setting up cameras in the hallway? You would think
It might have been a tiny little thing that he put at the foot of his door or something.
yeah, but Vegas is very famous for you can't do anything in Vegas without them spotting you doing it. Like it just seems like spot. And then he used a hammer to smash out the windows. Yeah, local police said they had no run-ins with this guy, not even traffic violations. So the discovery that he had 10 suitcases and brought them methodically up to his suite over the preceding weekend came as a shock to those who knew him. Eric Paddock, we've been trying to call him. We've called him a couple times, his brother, but it just goes to voicemail. He thought his brother was far from a gun fanatic. He had a couple guns, handguns, legal. He might have had 1 long gun. He kept them in a safe. The revelation of his brother's deadly plan, he said, was as unexpected as seeing a meteor suddenly landing on his street. Police raided his other properties, too. I guess he's got 2 other houses, one in Mesquite.
Did you say they found like 20 more guns
Yeah.
in homes?
Yeah. They found a second arsenal even bigger than the one in Mandalay Bay. Some additional 19 firearms or so in the house. Electronic devices also found. They're still being examined to determine what their purpose was. The guys that 2 people have come out so far and admitted selling him guns legally. He passed all background checks and set off no red flags. And these guys are like, look, if some guy comes in and he seems a bit shady or off, we won't sell him guns. But this guy set up, no red flags. Everyone thought he was just as normal as any Joe Blow.
God, you
coming
still
off
got
the
to feel
street.
awful, though, as the gun dealer. I think it was Guns and Guitars where he bought several of the
Nice.
guns.
Yeah.
There's a.
It's like the
Dual
strip mall.
stop.
Dude, you talk about a classic American strip mall. There's
Yeah.
a signage, out by the road where it summarizes all of the establishments
Yeah.
that are
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
strip
yeah.
mall. And it's like
Yeah.
Thai Bistro, Guns and Guitars, Massage. It's just like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
eclectic mix of shit that you
Of
see in
an
any...
insurance place.
Yeah.
And it's so weird how those are. I think the other one was like Dixieland Guns and Ammo or something, which seems like a fitting name. There's
Yeah.
probably a lot of Dixie something guns.
I'm sure there is.
This ISIS claim, though, is weird.
Yeah,
man.
they haven't ruled that out, right?
They haven't.
To
ruled
me,
that
that's
out.
the most plausible thing at this point, rather than just
Totally.
going, wow, this guy just snapped, but snapped in a way that allowed him to methodically plan this.
Yeah.
Just seems
You don't snap and then
far-fetched.
snapping means you snapped and then
Yeah.
went off. You walked in on your wife banging some dude and murdered them both.
I reckon the mind is a strange thing, so who knows? But I just tend to think, geez, ISIS seems reasonable.
It does. And they don't tend to ISIS is not bullshitters typically. Like they take claim for a lot of things and people say, sometimes they overclaim responsibility, but they've got some involvement somehow. So they've
I
attempted
think it's better practice for them to lay claim to everything. Why not?
Yeah, but then you give yourself a bad name if it turns out you
Well,
didn't. And
You only
can
do it
prove
once you decide. I mean,
You know what, though? If it turns out to be a shit attack, you don't take it.
Well, that's what we said about. Wasn't that the guys that amped themselves up and were driving cross country?
Fuck yeah, driving.
Yeah, they're just
Then they
rocking
get out and some Texas security guy, boom, boom, dead.
They're both dead.
Got a stockpile of weapons in their car ready to just wreak havoc
I remember that because we're like
on a Muhammad
Yeah, the idea-
expo, right?
right.
Or
yeah, it was the
exhibit.
drawing of
Yes.
Muhammad contest they were having in Texas, And these guys drove from Arizona in their
Yep.
shit-ass car, and they're ready to go in there. They were going to take the whole thing out. And that cop was just like, hold on a second, Bill. Look at these clowns. Boom, boom. Both gone. And the next day, it was like immediately, these were our brothers in arms. We claim
It's
responsibility.
like, think
man.
twice, ISIS.
Yeah, you might want to back off that one. I don't know if
Back up, back up.
back up. I don't know if I want to claim them as brothers. I'm sorry. So yeah, they haven't dismissed the claims of ISIS, but they're actually saying, yeah, this was one of our guys. He joined 3 months ago. His brother says he had no religious affiliation and no political affiliation. He just hung out. His life is an open book. It's all public record. Once again, there's nothing. He went to college. He had a job. His gambling habit is the only thing that stood out as a bit unusual. He would play $100 hands of video poker.
It's not that big of a deal.
No, not really. They said in recent weeks he'd made a number of transactions in Vegas that were tens of thousands of dollars. So, you know,
But that's what you
30
do
grand.
before you go on a murderous spree, right?
Yeah, why
Like,
not?
Why not? Go for it.
But the thing is, they haven't told us whether he won or lost. So it's like, well, okay, maybe he won more money.
Right.
We don't know. The other kind of thing that's funny is in his private life, he enjoyed going on the Vegas Strip and watching country concerts. What? It's like so.
What
like,
an asshole.
He was also the son of, and I think you mentioned this briefly yesterday, Jay, Benjamin Paddock, a serial bank robber. Imagine your dad being a serial bank robber.
He was once on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, like
Yeah.
in the 70s.
Yep. He was on there for like 8 years, and then they took him off the list. I don't know why he got bumped, but they took him off the list, and like a year later, they found him like in Oregon, running some Oregon bingo hall. He'd been diagnosed as psychopathic and possible suicidal tendencies. That son of a bitch broke out of a federal prison.
Wow.
20 years. That's why he was put on the most wanted list. He broke out of a federal prison in Texas.
That's his dad.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I want to know more about this Marilou Danley.
Yeah, the
You
chick,
know-
his live-in girlfriend, who's over in Japan right
Yeah.
now, or it was at the time.
Yes, exactly. And I guess she travels, so it's not that weird. But they keep saying, like, no, we don't think she had any involvement. But if she lived with him and he's got 43... Like,
It's
you would-
probably like the Orlando shooter where she knew something. He was going to do something.
Yeah.
Whether she knew this is what he was planning, who knows? But dude,
Yeah.
you know, your boyfriend amasses an arsenal like that. Like, what's going on, man?
Well, she's like a nana, and this Eric, the brother, is like, she would send us cookies to my mom and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. But doesn't ISIS do that a lot where like, was it the Orlando one?
cookies?
No, not the cookies part. But I thought like that was part of their MO, was like get your family somewhere safe, like get them out of the country, and then when this all goes down, they're not here or whatever. So I want to know more about
I
her.
don't think
It's
they
like,
gave a fuck about lone wolves, honestly. ISIS just like, yeah, feel free to do our bidding. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Because we can't get over there.
Maybe you're right, but I thought there were a couple times where it's like, oh, his wife is out of the country. We'd like to talk to her. And it's like, how convenient that you got her out of the country before you went on your spree. But yeah, it's weird. He like married this girl, Peggy, and then they divorced 6 years later.
Peggy, Bobby.
I think that's coming back, by the way.
Oh,
Really?
of course. Why not?
Yeah, I
Well,
know.
Why not
Well, yeah,
reboot
Will
it?
and Grace is back, so I'm going to have everything just
He already tried with Beavis and Butthead. Why not give it another shot with
Right,
Bobby?
right.
Peggy.
So he marries this girl. They've been divorced for 27 years. She's had a boyfriend for 20 years, but keeps his last name. And then he was married to one other. And then there's this, Marilou Danley chick,
Christ.
and it's like they're not married, but they live together. But she's
people's
traveling
lives.
a lot. It's like, what is going on here? What is this?
What are you doing in your life? Don't you? It just seems like you would just want to like have a nice life and just kind of get through it, and
Yeah.
gamble a little bit. You have money, apparently.
Weird.
We're all a little different, aren't we?
Well,
know-
in the last day, we've seen a lot of these videos of people on site.
Yeah.
The couple things that amaze me, man, are that they had no idea what was going on. You see these videos of people just standing up straight, and you can see the Mandalay Bay behind them.
Yes.
Like they had no idea the shots were coming from there.
No.
At least that group of people
No,
in
dude,
that
you're right.
particular
Dude, I was
picture.
watching the Snapchat story about it, and it was like people's Snapchats from the thing. And dude, you're right.
There was talk that there were multiple gunmen on the ground.
Yeah.
and so they
bombs.
yeah.
So they're running into the Tropicana.
Right.
And it's like it might be bombed, and
So they talked to a lot of people who are just like, I started running and just kept running as fast as I could and as far as I could. Some people jumped in cars that were headed to the hospital. People like pickup trucks. You know, put a body in here or whatever. I'll take it to the hospital. People who were uninjured jumped in there and just wanted to go to the hospital just to get away. So like, we had people arrive at the hospital who were not injured. You know, several hundred of them. Just crazy. And then the other thing, dude, is you see all these talking head assholes who are clamoring for anybody who is on the ground, right, to speak. And so you get all these heroes stepping forward. And usually, you know, 8 times out of 10, it's somebody who just flat out unbelievable. It was surreal. Oh my gosh. And they try to tell their story the best they can. But then 20% of them, you know, I could have jumped that fence, but I looked back and I thought, how could I do it? The country music singer guy.
With the retarded hair.
So cringy, dude.
Oh, dude.
He had mirror sunglasses on, and he was all about making himself part of this story.
Black
and a
nail
heroic
polish.
one. Oh, man.
Dude, you are so right. I saw part of his interview, and I was like, please cut
I'm
this guy
fit
out.
enough where I could have easily jumped the fence, but I looked back and I couldn't do that to my fellow humans. So I stayed, and I just tried to... I helped, is what I did. I helped
How did
a
you
lot
help
of people.
exactly?
A lot of people I helped into a freezer area.
By doing what?
Yeah, I was like, we got to go this way and into this freezer, but we didn't know.
I didn't know any of these people, by the way, but
Yeah.
I was just there to help.
And this girl starts thinking about this guy she saw on the ground, and he was shot in the stomach, and his guts were falling out. She starts freaking out, so I immediately went to her, and I just got in her face and calmed her down, and really, you know, and then I was like, I got to do more. I got to get us out of here. And so it's like, you know, next thing I know, they're all following me. He's the Pied Piper at this
Yeah,
point. It's
I
just like
guess.
they're following me, and it's like I can't leave them behind. And so I'm like, dude, you sound and look like a total asshole right now.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, and I guess he was introduced as performed at the show earlier tonight, and he was like, actually,
I am a country music performer, but I wasn't at this show, this particular one. I was just seeing some friends here.
yeah,
probably
I was
told him that he-
backstage. I was backstage hanging out, and then I went out to the front, and the gunshot it started happening, and then it was like, what can I do? How do I help?
You probably told him that he was a performer. Then when he put him on the TV, he just wanted to clarify it so people couldn't get him in a lie or
Yeah.
something. Like, you know, he probably said like, "Oh, I'm a performer. I'm a performer." I was telling Mike, the guy I heard talking about the VIP. He's like some attorney, and he's like, "Yeah, I was in
Made a
what's
point to mention that he was in the VIP.
not just that
Yeah,
it was
I was
in the
in the-
VIP,
People are nuts,
but it's
man.
not just
This is tragedy. Why you got to point out you're in the VIP area?
Yeah,
But it wasn't just that he said it though. But like I told Mike, it was like he said like, "Well, I was in an area what was called the VIP
That stands
area."
for very important person.
perhaps you've. I don't know if you've ever been in one of
Yeah.
those, but very
I
important.
had VIP
people were-
status that evening as
were
well
all
as many
around me.
others.
So what would you say? Say you're in the VIP tent, which is
Dude,
just a
no.
white pop-up tent
You
off to the
describe
side.
it. You're like, look, there's this area off to the side, this VIP area with a tent. That's where I happen to be. All this shit was going on.
Right.
Do you even need to
how-
mention
how can
VIP,
you-
or do you just go? I was standing in that white
Yeah, you
tent
probably
by the
do mention
stage.
VIP. I have no problem with somebody
No, it's
mentioning
how he
VIP.
said it, dude. He's like, "I was in what's called the VIP area."
I would just think, dude, Cameron, you're number one. I would never fucking go on camera
No.
during an incident like this. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't.
See, I say
feel-
that, but when the camera got in my face at the GNR show,
You were fucking wasted.
and you were
yeah,
like 18
and I had a black
or
eye,
17,
and Mike Webster.
you
was
had a
born
story
that
to
night.
tell, man.
I did, and I was going to tell my story. I might have even sought the camera out.
Yeah.
I'm with you though. When I see those guys that are like running up to the camera and I just barely got out of there. There's 8 people down around me. It's like it just seems so
I
foreign to
carried
me.
3 women out, you know, and like, dude, how can you not temper your story?
Yeah.
To realize that this might be coming off as like me trying to be the hero.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna.
There's a lot of heroes. The one thing that did stand out.
There
though-
are true heroes, but then
Yes.
they're not the ones on video, you know, talking to
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson or some
no,
shit.
you're right.
Yeah.
The ones they
Well,
aren't.
I thought it was cool. Like
They're the ones with a bullet in their back because they laid on top of someone else to protect them, you know.
the ones that were running towards where people were running from. Those cops. You know, you heard a lot about, you know, a cop is directing, go this way and run and don't stop running, and they're just heading right into the shit.
Well, it goes without saying. They're first responders. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they do.
Well, not always. Like I saw an interview with, is it Rich from Big and Rich, dumb cowboy hat, and
Sure.
you know who I'm talking about.
I know Big and Rich.
Big and Rich. Well, we mentioned him yesterday because he's got a club there, a bar or something right on the strip, and he was saying how a cop came when it was all going down and everyone's running into their bar. This guy came up to him and was like, "Hey man, I'm a police officer from Minnesota. But this is the first time I don't have my weapon on me. I don't have my gun on me. He's like, is there any chance you are carrying? He's like, I am. I've got my permit. I am legal. It's right here. He's like, can I have your gun? And he's like, absolutely.
I've heard a couple stories like that.
And he handed this guy his gun, and he said for the next two hours, this guy stood cover at the door and was shuffling people out and was just like, no one's coming in here to blow this shit up, or I'll take them down first. And so you hear stories like that. It's like, those are the true heroes that are willing to put their life on the line and protect absolute strangers. It's incredible.
You want to
really
know the
is.
other part of this that is driving me fucking nuts?
What's that?
This big backlash from the right about the left politicizing this.
Yeah.
Dude, what else is it? It's a political issue.
Yeah.
You're going to go, oh my God, they can't even let the bodies cool before they politicize this. If not for the Second Amendment and the arguments that go around that, believe me, nobody fucking would have a gun like this.
Yeah.
There just wouldn't be. This
And
is a political issue, a distinctly political issue.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't a Democrat, an anti-gun person, come out and say, look at this, this is ridiculous.
Another example of,
It's a really poor commercial for the NRA.
It
and I'm
is.
going to exploit that because it is a fucking political issue.
Yeah, it goes as far back as the Second Amendment gun issue, and it's like, you're talking about something developed when muskets were around, and then trying to look down the line and go, think about it. 527 people or whatever are shot in a matter of minutes.
800
seconds.
rounds a minute.
Yeah, I mean, dude, into just. You can't do that with a musket. I'm sorry. And so the idea that they would think 1,000 years down the road and think that that would be possible in this country, it's a shit argument. The only good argument against it is there are so many in society that you can't. It seems like it's too out of control to get your arms around. And so that's where it's like, okay, we can bitch about it all day long, but unless there's an answer.
There is an back up. There is an argument why people ought to be able to arm themselves equally to how the government has armed itself. So even though the advancement in technology has led to this 800 rounds per second, there is an argument under the Second Amendment that that you ought to have an equal arsenal to be able to fight off your government.
Because that's what it was supposed to be for. It wasn't
Yeah.
because it was muskets. It was because they were worried that the government legitimately, because other governments in the
Exactly.
past had
Yeah.
just freaking gone in and said, nope, we're taking your guns and we have all the control now.
But the fact is, the thing that has me boiling is the right just jumping all over. You're politicizing. It's a fucking political issue.
Yeah, always has been,
Front and
always
center.
will be.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So Sean Hannity, I see all these clips about him bitching about Hillary tweeting.
Yeah.
Dude, go ahead and tweet Hillary. You have every right. If that's
Yeah.
what you believe, that these guns shouldn't be in the hands of citizens, go ahead. It's politics.
Yeah, and they get so over the top too. You see them, and it's like, this is just outrageous behavior by the left. I mean, they don't even know the death count yet, and here we are in this political spectrum. I mean, leave it to them, and they get all worked up and.
Well, because they have nothing to say. All they can say is, well, the Second Amendment lets us have these. So
yeah.
And that's an awful argument in the face of this death that's before us on every, iPhone cam that's out there and every news channel that's out there. How do you counter that? You counter it by going, you're politicizing the issue.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is, but there has to be at some point a realistic conversation on some level about what to do with this. I mean, it worries me. I believe in the Second Amendment as much as anybody.
I've always been for huge background checks that really delve into mental health and all that, but I don't know if it would have worked in this instance,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem, is everybody says, well, show me a gun control law that would have precluded this. It's like, I don't know that you can make one, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when you're talking about just mental health being what it is and being able to snap, being able to appear normal at different times, they're walking amongst us,
Yeah.
And then you have these machines that can just kill at a rate of 800 rounds a minute.
Yeah.
And you're talking about real problems. And if
You're right.
and if you're talking about just no movement on the Second Amendment, I get it why Second Amendment people don't want to move, because it damn well is a slippery slope.
Fuck
you see
yes.
what happens with the Confederate flag. Oh, we're just going to take it down from the South Carolina state capital.
courthouse order.
That's all we're doing. And then the Dukes of Hazzard is off.
Yeah.
Because a fucking car has it on the top of the car.
Yep, and we warned about that too. And it's like, this is the problem. You're never going to satisfy everybody, and so they get an inch and take it a mile. And it's like, but you're not helping your argument for future things. There are other battles that you're trying to wage, and people are going to always point back and go, "We lost the Dukes of Hazzard. Go fuck yourself." Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the toothpaste, in terms of, we talked about this at length yesterday, so I'm not going to rehash the whole thing, but with the millions of weapons out there, the toothpaste is out of the tube. You're never going to get that back in.
Yeah.
Good people, let's say the law was, turn them all in. Good people will do that. You and I will do that. We'll comply with the law. The bad people won't. There'll still be these killing machines out there.
Yeah. And the fact is, they know we've got a gun because we registered them and they're licensed. Like I went to the police station and said, "Here's my new gun. It's disassembled right now. I got my stuff," and they log me in and they know where I am and they know what I have and they've got the serial number. Like, bad guys aren't doing that. Like, so when they talk about if you had a plan to turn them all in, well, if I don't, they know where I am and they know what I have. Where this Joe Blow, who went and bought one off the black market with a scratched off serial number and it's modified to be an auto instead of a semi-automatic, like, that guy's not going to go down to his police station and turn it in. So, you can see where the problem comes in. Even if 150 million guns were turned in, that's what a success. That's
Still
incredible.
200 million out there.
Exactly. You see the problem? Because you're never going to corral them all. And it is sad that it comes down to this debate. And I always hear people, it's either hardcore left, hardcore right. They have their opinions and they just scream at each other. But I never hear anybody come up with like a realistic.
Because there is none.
There is none.
Because you have to move off the Second Amendment. You have to do it, and the right won't
Yeah.
do it because they know it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
So without movement off there is no solution.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero.
Boy, that's one that might be taken to the streets if they tried to take the Second Amendment and alter it. I mean, that's one where you would get gun owners in the streets. That is such a hot button. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Did you see Jimmy Kimmel? Is he crying too much on TV?
Yes, he's crying
I mean,
too much.
I think so. Do you have it? You want to watch just a quick second of him? I think you can only use the crying on TV gig like
I don't know, dude.
once.
I
He
like
cried over his son, and that led to
Yeah.
the reopening of part of the healthcare debate.
But that was bullshit too, because I don't know if you read much about that, but when I heard that he was getting prepped by what's his name? Who's the senator? The asshole.
Chuck Schumer.
Chuck Schumer. He's getting bullet points and talking points and prep from Chuck Schumer. It's like, okay, this is just a political issue now. Go ahead, E. I mean, it's cool. He's from
Hello,
Las
everyone.
Vegas.
Here we are again in the aftermath of another
Is he just a crier?
terrible,
He might be.
inexplicable, shocking, and painful
Do you watch
tragedy
Little
in
House on the
Las
Prairie with him
Vegas,
and he cries?
which happens to be my
Maybe.
hometown and Cleo's hometown.
I
Cleo's
cried this
hometown.
weekend over Monster, so
And,
I mean, him
as you
crying
know,
over
at least
56 dead
59
people in his
people are
hometown
dead.
probably
Hundreds
isn't
of
out of
people
line.
were
I'm not
wounded
discounting
in
the
what they say
tragedy
was
of
the
it, but-
deadliest mass shooting in modern American history, coming about a year and a half after the previous.
Did you want to just start at the
deadliest
beginning, or
mass
did you want to
shooting
get
in
to where
modern
the middle
American
part where he
history
kind of
in
is talking about?
Yeah,
Orlando.
you go ahead. You can
Lost their
fast forward. I don't.
lives and, pretty
He's
possible.
teary-eyed from the
Caution to make
beginning,
sure it
though,
doesn't
man.
happen.
Oh yeah, right out of the gate.
But when an American buys a possible amount of time, and this guy reportedly had 10 of them. The Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, a number of other lawmakers who won't do anything about this because the NRA has their balls in a money clip, also sent their thoughts and their prayers today, which is good. They should be praying. They should be praying for God to forgive them for letting the gun lobby run this country, because it is it's so crazy. Right now, there are loopholes in the law that let people avoid background checks if they buy a gun privately from another party, if they buy a gun online or at a gun show.
Yeah.
So I want to show you something. These are the faces of the senators who,
is
days after the shooting in
bullshit.
Orlando,
Yeah, it sure
voted
is.
against the
So,
bill
and
that
you get the
would
point. We don't need to watch. We'll probably get our shit yanked, anyways. But yeah, it's terribly tragic. I mean, it's just an awful story. I mean, what else can we say? And I have a feeling we're not ever going to know exactly what was going on in this dude's head. I did see this. It was nice to see this top CBS lawyer get shit canned.
Yeah.
Immediately. What, dude? I'll never understand.
Moron.
Like someone, she's a top executive lawyer at CBS. How can you be so dumb? I guess people are just so passionate about their views and they fly. And it's like, have that discussion with your friend or your husband or whatever. But why the need to tweet something? She said
It's
something
the
like,
echo chamber mentality, though.
yeah. She says something about, it wouldn't do anything when they wouldn't do anything when children were murdered. I have no hope that Republicans will ever do the right thing. I'm actually not even sympathetic because country music fans often are Republican gun toters. I mean, it's just
Duh. What a dumbass.
I know. Her name's Haley Geftman-Gold.
Oh, doesn't she have like several names? I was reading about this.
Really?
Yeah, I thought she had a third name.
Haley Geftman-Gold is what I've got. I mean, maybe she does. But yeah, the network was just like, oh, this goes against our policy and violating blah, blah, blah.
Bye-bye.
She was fired. Husband, 3 kids, New York, great. Nice job. Nice job, lady. Another sad story yesterday is Tom Petty. Tom Petty dying on us. It's 66 is too young for a guy like that to go down, but yeah.
Currently touring, right? He was at DT this summer.
Yeah,
Probably
I think
finishing up a tour.
I think he did 53 dates that he just wrapped up like a week ago at the Hollywood Bowl or something in Los Angeles. I think that's where that came to an end. But yeah, so I guess he had a heart attack, a massive cardiac arrest at his home in Malibu, and I just picture that scene. The wife walks in and here's Thomas Petty on the ground, and call 911, and they're trying to get her to do CPR. She starts to, and she's like, I think he's breathing a little bit, just slight breaths. And like, okay, stop CPR, put him on his side, wait for paramedics. And so they get him to the hospital in Santa Monica, and they found no brain activity. They got a pulse, and so someone at that hospital leaked to the media, or the police leaked to the media that Tom Petty was dead. And so immediately, the Twitter sphere and the papers and everybody, oh, Tom Petty passed away at 66, and then it's like, hold on, no, he's still, we've unplugged the machines, but he's not dead yet. And so then it was like, is he dead? Is he not? But
he'll be dead soon. Don't worry.
When you hear no brain activity and pulled from life support, yeah, it's just a mess. Now we're just waiting. Now we're just waiting the time out. But yeah, I like Tom Petty a lot.
Oh yeah,
I'm
man.
Big fan of Petty.
Top 20 for me for sure.
You think so? Yeah. That's fair. And we did that interview with Warren Zanes. I don't know how long ago that was, but if you're looking for a book on Tom Petty, he's basically his biographer. I mean, Petty helped with that book.
Yeah, he's buddies with him, and
yeah,
Petty expert.
Wonder if Tom is hanging out with Earl right now. Remember Earl, his dad?
I doubt it.
Earl sounded like such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so brutally physically abusive to this kid growing up in Gainesville, Florida.
Hopefully Tom's in a different part of eternity than Earl.
Yeah, he's on the left side of the stage, and Earl's on the right. And Earl was just like, look at this faggot son of mine. He thought he was a homo because of the way he dressed, and he liked music, and he liked art, and he just, homo, he's a homo. And, Tom was anything but. He banged a lot of chicks. But then as Tom starts gaining success, it's like Earl's coming around now.
Yeah.
Don't come around here no more. Earl starts coming around and, like, oh, that's my boy, Tom Petty. And he's using it to, like, bang chicks. And then
Earl.
And then Tom's mom is dying, and Earl is there, like, taking care of her. And so Tom hires personal nurses to go over the house. Remember this? Earl starts banging the nurses. Oh, Earl, what are you doing? Taking advantage. There's the one picture of Earl in the book, and he's wearing his Tom Petty tour jacket. Fuck. So anyway,
Yeah, poor Tom. We'll
rough
miss him.
week, man. Rough week for deaths. Hugh Hefner, would that be in the triangle?
Monster, Hugh Hefner, and Tom Petty.
Okay, that's a good death
Monster
triangle.
the cat.
But didn't Monty Hall die this
Monster
week?
get the
Oh.
better end of that.
Screw Monty Hall.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Put
But
Monster in.
there's one more death that I don't know where you would put this one. Chuck Lowe. Familiar with Chuck Lowe?
You'll have to remind me.
All right, I will, and you'll know who he is. He played Maury Kessler in the famous Goodfellas movie. He was the wig seller, Maury, that was killed with a screwdriver by Joe Pesci. He had the horrible wig, and they would always fuck with him. He was like on TV commercials at the time in New York,
Yeah.
selling his wigs.
Okay.
That guy. Do you remember him from the
a bell.
picture?
No?
No? Really? You like Goodfellas, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, this guy
Is that
is
a left-handed screwdriver he's using?
I don't know.
amazing.
Yeah, it would be. It would be a left-handed screwdriver. Yep. He was a New York real estate developer, got into the acting business after Bob De Niro became one of his tenants in a Tribeca loft. Their friendship blossomed, and he gives him this role as Maury in Goodfellas.
Cool.
Yeah. He also landed roles in The Mission, King of Comedy, Once Upon a Time in America, Scent of a Woman, and The Sopranos. But he's obviously most known as the wig salesman in that.
Down goes Chuck Lowe.
He might have been one of the ones when it was like, remember the when they were talking about the Lufthansa heist, and it's like, nobody buys anything.
Yeah.
No fancy cars, no big jewelry. I think Maury might have showed up at a party and his wife's in like this big down mink or something and some jewelry, and he got a new Cadillac. And yeah, I think that marked the end. I think that's how his death was.
Speaking of money, how much money will you need in retirement? For most of us, the answer's not all that clear. Retirement doesn't have to be a mystery, though. Contact Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial today to learn the answer to one of the most important questions for your retirement. Call today, tell him you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation, 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark. Jesus, do you have something to add?
Sorry.
Come on, E.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
And I believe your first point of contact when calling LPL Financial will be to a TDC listener.
That's right. A big TDC.
The main receptionist there
Yep.
is a listener, so say hello to her.
Absolutely. Have you heard about these flutes in California?
I heard about the flutes. What a deviant. What is...
I knew you were going to say that.
God damn, man.
It's just...
This goes back to the cookies. Remember the cookies?
Yes, of
The
course I
sperm
remember.
cookies?
Dude, it was drizzle. Think about that.
What is it? Like... go on. Tell the story.
No, I don't even like the story, to be honest with you. And it's kind of confusing because it's like 13 school districts.
Music teacher gave out a bunch of these flutes, like little recorder-type flutes.
Yes, some of them are PVC, some of them are bamboo. I remember playing those as a little kid. I think ours were bamboo,
Yeah.
and I think you had to pay $1 or $0.25, and you brought that in, and they gave you your little flute.
Dude, that thing allowed me to kill in music class.
Really?
Because me and Dan Dreyer...
Sure.
we would get up and do a solo or a duet in front of either a solo, obviously by ourselves if we wanted to get extra points, but a duet would get you like 50 points.
Really?
And so every day we'd go, yeah, we'll play a duet. And so we had like A+ in that because every day we'd come in and just be like, do, 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 do,
Did you play anything, or were you just
yeah, we
blowing
played
into it?
some fucking tune that I don't know, learned at the beginning of class.
Did you play the same song each day?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
I know, 50 points a day. It was
That's
ridiculous.
unbelievable.
If you want to do it by yourself, you get 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you guys break that up and
Because
take
we're
100?
just killing with each other.
Yeah. Well, they've got this program, I guess, called Flutes Across the World, where it's like, they donate all these flutes.
I always worry about those in the lead paint, man. I remember Manny, when he was a little kid, he was given a little flute or something from Ecuador. I'm like, don't touch that! Put it down! There's
Really?
probably lead in that paint.
Yeah.
First kid.
Well,
second or third kid blew on that thing all day long.
Yeah. You don't worry so much then. But yeah, I guess some of these are all hand-painted, and they come with a
With
note.
lead paint.
Probably. They come with a note inside from who made it or who painted it, and then it's given to some kid in some wherever country that needs a flute for some reason. That's going to solve all their problems. But yeah,
Music ties us together, Mike.
so these people are like, they're saying these flutes have been contaminated with bodily fluids, and the fluids are semen.
Yeah. So, do you think he gives a little special sauce to every individual flute, or does he put them like in a jar? Mouthpiece down, and then
Yeah.
just come in the jar.
Well, that would be a more
And then just
effective
kinda
way to
stir
do it.
'em up.
Yeah. It'd be hard though. Like if I thought about it, and I've got 3 flutes in my hand, and I'm jacking it. You never know. I mean, that thing can go errant.
That's what
Sometimes
I'm saying. Maybe he just blows it in a jar.
that would make sense economically. I mean, unless he's just full of loads all day. I don't know. I don't know what his story is, or if he's just using his own, or if he's got buddies helping him out.
But how does that get you off in any way? What does that do for you? This knowledge that a little kid then grabs the flute and it has your junk on it?
Yeah, I don't know. And these parents, and you can imagine what you'd be like if there was even a hint of this. You'd want to kill someone is
Yes.
what you'd want to do. Parents are sickened by this. My kids have brought these flutes home. They're putting their mouths on it, and they're playing with these instruments. That was Tootie Balta, parent in one of the districts.
Appropriate name for a flute story.
Tootie Balta, I would agree. And for someone to contaminate it with their semen, that's disgusting. My kids could have gotten sick. Here's why, like, a kid that's at that age where you're getting that flute, that's an early school thing. That's not given to, 10th graders. That's one of those given to, like, grade school kids, right?
Yeah.
So my guess is they're not going to be familiar with the taste of seminal fluid. And so my thought is,
They probably shouldn't be. You're right.
yeah. Some maybe are, which is a totally other story and shameful and awful as well, but majority aren't going to be. My thought is these kids bring these things home to their parents, and, it's like, oh, Mommy, you try it.
Oh, sure.
And mommy tries one and is like, "Ugh. Bill, were you playing with the child's flute earlier today? I swear to God, honey, I never touched it. And then she's going to call her girlfriends and be like, will you try your kid's flute and
Dude,
just tell me what you think?
Are you going to be able to taste semen on a flute like a week later? I mean,
Ladies,
honestly,
email
like,
us. Let us know. I don't know.
Let's say he blew in a jar and stirred it up with the mouthpiece of the flute
Yeah.
down, and then it dried and he gave it out to kids. Are you going to be able to taste that?
I don't know. We could.
How the hell did they discover this?
We could, and I'd be willing to try this. I'd be willing, for the sake of the
E?
show, to blow a load in a jar
You listening?
and then get one of those flutes, stir it on there, let it sit for a day or two. E, would you be willing to try to play the flute and see if there's any difference in the way it tastes? Come on, dude. $5.
$5,
Dude, you go get yourself a
This isn't like
Happy
a question.
Meal.
I know Happy Meal.
You've eaten rabbit turd. You've eaten
yeah,
horse
that's
shit.
different than his
You've
Mike's
lit your balls on fire.
hum.
Dude, you're not taking it from the tap. I'm not going to blow in your face. But just into a jar, you're not here.
Johnny Knoxville would do it.
Fuck
So
yeah, he
would
would.
Steve-O.
Bam Margera. In an instant.
No questions
I like
asked.
how you just bring these people up. Like,
It's true.
Yeah, they're your
hey,
heroes.
well, I didn't make it. So a lot of people, didn't make it in things they do, and that maybe there's reasons why. But.
Here's the plan, E. We'll get 2 flutes, identical flutes. I'll come in the jar. I think that's a great suggestion because I'd like trying to hit the tip
Yeah.
of a flute would be hard for me. I got to be honest with you. Sometimes that thing will shoot over my head. Sometimes it dribbles out the top. I just don't know. So if I shoot into a jar, I'm
is it
assuming
shooting over your
mason,
head?
we go
Traditional mason,
and then immediately stir it on
Yep.
there and let it sit. And then there's 2 of them. E, you can try the dry one. We'll let you try that, and then just see if the other one's any different after a couple days.
What are you afraid of, man? Walking away with $5 doesn't sound
Walking away
scary
with
to me.
Jesus. I don't know what dude. I don't know, Mister. I don't use condoms over here.
True.
Fine. All right,
Let's
Jay,
suck
you're gonna
it.
have to be you're gonna have to fill up a mason
I'm not
jar.
blowing in a jar.
See, E, he's gonna take a knee, but I won't, and I can't have you taking a knee either. Come on, E.
Not gonna
You're not drinking. All you're doing is putting your lips on it and just going and just seeing if you can taste anything.
I don't know.
Just play memories.
I think it's worse for me. I'm admitting to coming in a mason jar.
No, it
dude.
is not worse for
way
you.
worse
It's
for mine.
way worse for me. I mean, it's disgusting. The visual of me coming into a mason jar, but I'm willing to do it.
Oh, what a
Trooper,
Wow.
huh?
what a team
Well, no,
player.
honestly, how did they discover this? They haven't reported that, right?
They haven't said, but it's got to be. I'm assuming it's a mother.
Do you think it's a taste thing? Or do you think it's a visual thing? Like, what the hell is dried on here?
But wouldn't you automatically assume it was like packaging, the way it was packaged, and there's some gunk on it? Like you wouldn't go to
Oh, I know.
semen.
You'd never go there.
Like who would would
Right.
think like in, I don't know how do the cookies? I would think if I drizzled cum on sugar cookies or whatever that guy did,
The
or
guy doing this
oatmeal cookies.
probably videotapes it. So maybe a tape got in the
Maybe.
hands of
But
someone.
you would think that would be reported. And they would just go, yeah,
Yeah.
we found a videotape that's very disturbing. We
True.
contacted the parents. So at this point, I'm stuck to believe that one of the gay guy couples,
But
families.
so
or,
then let's see this through. Then the mom tastes the flute,
yeah.
is troubled by the taste, goes to the authorities.
Well, first she's gonna ask her husband. She's
Yeah.
gonna go,
Okay.
Bill,
Okay.
did you-"
We went
Yeah,
through
yeah.
that. Bill didn't do it. She goes.
He says.
She goes to the police. The police contact the school board. They finger the music teacher. Music teacher comes in and admits to it.
But
I mean,
they-
why don't you go to your grave like, what? What?
Well, couldn't you? Well, then they could have him produce a sample, right?
Right.
And then do DNA.
I thought they
Is
said
that where it goes? Is that how this was done?
it says he contaminated some of these instruments. So not all of them necessarily, but So I don't know how he did it or how they would know. Because you're right. If it dried, I mean, maybe it would have some flaky.
Yeah, maybe it looked like dried egg yolk or something, or egg white.
Yeah.
Not yolk. If it looks like yolk, it's
That's
probably
fine.
a problem.
Yeah, you want to get that checked out if you're coming what looks like egg yolk.
But dried egg white, right?
Yeah, dried egg white for the most part. It's got kind of a.
I would leap to egg white before I leapt to semen.
Of
I'd be like,
course
what the
you
hell
would.
is egg white doing on this flute?
and then you would hope that
Then you
someone
go,
would
oh
"Ugh."
God,
Just give it a quick lick. No.
that's a salty egg.
Yeah, that's way too salty an egg. Yeah, I don't know. So obviously they're not going to come out with the semen allegation unless they are pretty damn sure that someone came on these flutes, right?
Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
You know, because you would go, we found what we think is egg whites, dried egg whites on these flutes, but we're going to have these examined.
Yeah,
Don't put them in your
parents-
mouths.
Yeah, parents, go ahead and clean those really well. We think there was some dried egg yolk or egg white.
Yeah.
Am I going yolk?
Yolk. Yeah, you don't even
Yeah,
like
they,
egg
they
yolks.
wouldn't go to semen unless they were sure of it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't want to, have people freaking out.
So for them to even drop the S word, they're on to something. Anyway, let's take a quick timeout. We'll try to talk E into this challenge.
Eating your semen.
Yep. More
It
interesting
would be
stuff.
licking it, by the way. It would
Think
not
of
be
it.
eating
I
it.
think Mike put that in good terms. Think of it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
And you've-
Nothing grows in your comfort zone. E.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you've set the table, E, for all of this. I mean, when you're rocking a turd out on my driveway, drinking your own whiz,
I know, I
eating
know.
a bowl of rabbit shit or horse shit.
I know.
Dude, it's just a natural progression to tasting a little bit of my semen. Like, I don't think that's that
And it's
far
not
of a leap,
It's not
right?
a lot. In fairness,
No.
we're not asking you to drink the whole jar of it. It's going to be
Yeah.
dried on there a little bit.
Yep. You've drank titty milk from Sarah Titties. So this is just a natural progression. I don't think it's that big a deal. E. We'll work on them in the break, and then we've got to get those. I don't even know where you get those flutes, but we're gonna have to get an order of 2.
Would you really need flutes? I mean, couldn't you just do straws? I mean,
Fair enough. We could do that. We can knock this out this afternoon if that's the case.
You
I've
could
got a
just
couple
go straight
straws.
skin flute if you want. Just get this done. Wait, just blow Mike. I mean,
Yeah, you
just
just
give Mike
blow
a-
me.
And swallow.
No. It's got to be on the bamboo thing. Remember, because it's like, how would you know? And so
Yeah,
that's why
you're
we have to give him a
right.
dry. Like, unless he's gonna suck my dick dry and then suck it with dried cum on the tip.
Good point.
You know what I mean? I'm sticking with flutes.
You need a control in
Yeah.
any scientific experiment.
Yeah, and one will be placebo. We won't tell him which. It'll be like a placebo effect, and we'll see if he figures it out. We'll be back in a minute.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. Mike and Jay. Big E is here.
So we've confirmed.
I think we have an update to report.
All we need is a couple flutes and a jar.
Yep. I think I've got...
No, whoa.
It doesn't have to be a mason jar, because I've got these little
Could be a
glass
cup.
dishes.
Could be a cup.
It's
Any
gotta be
receptacle.
Glass, though, right? Preferred? Because I do
To
have
be
a-
honest, I don't want to see this, man. So no, it's not preferred. Actually, a plastic black cup or something.
I wasn't
would be
planning on
preferred.
showing you my,
Your load.
Yeah.
Well, why do you need something glass then?
Well, I was thinking paper cup might,
Dude,
contaminate
any
it.
receptacle that can hold your
Wait,
load.
I have two.
So what about Beth's mouth?
So thimble,
would
whatever.
Beth's mouth work, and then if I stick the flute in there,
No,
would
we
that
don't
be
want
okay?
it contaminated with her saliva and all that. We want the straight up semen
Okay.
on the flute. E needs to taste it.
I have two.
Can I use
Wait a
Beth
minute.
to
Yeah.
to like get me to the point, and then I into the mason?
Absolutely.
Okay, good, fair enough.
I have two things here that need to happen. For one,
Oh, yes, $5.
I need to see you dipping the flute into the fluid. I'm not gonna have you. I don't know how to explain it. It just needs to be a standard, just
Okay, that's
mild.
That's fair.
Amount. I don't want
Wait a minute.
5 loads and he's dumping it in 10 times.
He doesn't want you churning butter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And that's
I
fine.
give you my word. Is my word?
no, your word is not good enough. For
Dude, my
one.
word is my bond.
Well, that's a terrible bond. And
Your word is not as strong as oak.
You don't think
Let's
so?
Put it that way. E, that's a reasonable request.
And the other request.
So he
is-
wants to see my load, is what you're saying.
He
now,
wants to see what you're doing with the flute, and that's fair.
But dude, now,
dude, it involves dipping a flute into your semen.
I
This
know.
is fair, Mike.
I don't think it is, because this puts undue pressure on me, unnecessary pressure on me to deliver an impressive load.
Well,
and
don't stop
No,
whacking
I don't care
off
if you
every
do it
5
for,
hours.
I don't
and
care.
just-
I don't care if you do it 3 times. I just want to see the dipping I don't want you just freaking in there, just like he said. And here's another thing. I'm being serious about this. I want some level of doctor to say, I don't know where your dick's been, dude. I don't know that I want to fight. I'm not saying you have
All right,
AIDS,
I'm a
but
juris doctor, some level of doctor.
There you
okay, I
go.
want a medical doctor.
well,
okay, well,
we have Dr. Tommy who could write in and confirm.
I'm sure he would confirm.
He
Do we have
would.
his phone number? Could we blow in a quick call to him? Do you know if we have
I
his
could get
phone
it.
number
I
offhand?
could probably get it.
I wouldn't
I
mind.
don't know that he would just. I don't know. I need some.
Is it something you could find easily in your email, really quick, Jay? Dr.
Just
Tommy's
call him
number,
right now.
and just call him.
Dude,
yeah,
the guy's an emergency fucking doctor.
I feel like we have an
Doctor.
emergency here. You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't answer the phone, obviously if he's
I
busy.
don't know where your dude. You've been in. I don't know. I don't know where your your dick's been, dude.
Yeah, it's been a lot of
That's-
places, but there
Semen.
haven't been any active sores in a long time. So I think
there
that's
hasn't been much discharge.
Nope, nothing out of the ordinary. And I think there needs to be active sores to pass something along. So I think you're good, E.
Looks like all I have is email. So
Email,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, we can reach out to him after the show and clear that up, because otherwise, I don't know that I'm going to go down to a clinic and get tested, E. So you can, Beth's fine.
Yeah,
she's
I guess that's
a lot more than just like the flute
E,
tip.
I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
You don't have any open sores in your mouth, do you?
no.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So you're fine as long as there's not open sores in your mouth.
Well, I want
Good.
to see the. I want to see the flute go into the semen.
Fine.
That's fair. I'm not sure exactly why he wants to, but that's a fair request.
Fine. I'll try to work up an impressive load and then dip it in there in front of your eyes.
Hey, it's time for Ram Power Days at Zott M59 Dodge Ram in Highland. Not only will you get a world-class new and pre-owned buying experience, but you can also shop the Zott Speed Shop, full of custom accessories and one-of-a-kind upgrades. Plus, during Ram Power Days, you can lease a new loaded 17 Dodge Ram 1500 4x4 crew cab for $169 a month. Yes, that is a badass Dodge Ram for just $169 a month. Surf their sensational deals and their massive inventory at DealsInTheD.com.
We've talked a bit about the opioid crisis.
Yeah.
I miss opiate. I really do.
Opiate, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
the
weird. It just like overnight went opioid
Yeah.
from opiate.
Opioid, and it just sounds weird to me. But anyways, we've talked about the crisis going on, and there's a story out of Alabama today. This worker, 30-year-old guy, named
Alabama.
Jonathan Click, John Click,
John
and
Click.
this
Mr. Click.
Yep. How you would address him. Mr. Mrs. Click, Nana Click.
That's not funny to you?
Jesus,
Papa
just
Click.
prepare to eat your semen, okay?
Yeah, jeez. Just get your head around that. Anyway, he's working at this Alabama pharmacy, and this hospice nurse calls and says, the medication's not working.
Wait a minute. Yeah, why
and
can't I
there's-
just do my semen? Why does that have to be Mike's?
Dude, no. Because we don't. Yours probably tastes fucking weird. It's probably all sour or something.
eat my
It'll
own
probably be
semen.
obvious.
It's not a bad argument, though, to have him taste his own semen, but I would need to see...
No, here's the thing, dude. I'm telling you, I guarantee you that fucker has like some crazy gross ass semen that like tastes
probably-
like oranges or something,
it
you know? And then he's
probably-
like, oh, yeah, tastes like oranges.
I bet it
E,
tastes...
you've had your own semen.
No, I
Admit
haven't.
it.
I bet it tastes burnt. You know? I mean, he lit his dick on fire. I wouldn't be surprised
Why
if everything
can't I
that comes
just
out of
go
there
in
just
this-
has a burnt
Has
taste
a
to it.
burnt-
Just like a
toast
medical
taste.
situation. I could go in the
Kind of has
bathroom.
that southern barbecue kind of mesquite flavor to it.
I could go in my bathroom upstairs, deposit something, dip these flutes in it, and then let them sit overnight.
What do we even need the flute for? Why don't you just
Just come in your mouth. E. Tell us if you can taste
go
it.
come in your mouth? Tell us what it tastes like.
Just flip your legs behind your head and come in your mouth. Can you taste it?
What are we even playing around with these flutes for?
Well, let's say, okay, we'll work out some finer details.
Okay, sorry. I just found
As to
it,
whose
like,
semen it is.
Yeah,
you
is
know.
it mine? Is it E's? Is it a mixture of both? Maybe we
why would it
maybe we
give me a
combine them.
mixture of both?
Maybe we combine
There's
them.
something creepy about that, man. Wow.
Yeah, that's-
the notion of you guys.
I'm just spitballing. I'm trying to be a team player here. That's all.
It just seems like it'd be so much easier. It'd be very easy for me to just deposit something into a thing, stick a flute in it, drink another one, 2 days later.
It's not dynamic enough. I think we need to involve Mike.
Yeah.
You know?
Too.
I like the idea that Mike is getting sexually aroused. Like he's banging Beth, and then he's depositing. Like, fuck him. Like,
Yeah. Maybe he should
kind
just
of
have to
pisses me off
deposit
in a
it.
way.
Maybe we should take Beth
there's-
out of the equation.
I think it should
Well-
be masturbation.
Yeah.
Why? What difference does that make?
Because it pisses me off that I'm not getting laid, and like you're getting laid, and you're getting to make me eat the semen from your lay.
Yeah, there is something morbid about that. I'll give you that. There's something wrong about that.
That almost gets into like a fetish thing. Like it's just something you
Dude,
wanted
Jay,
to have
just
happen
don't take
for a
that
long.
from me. I want the story of the time E ate my cum.
I
Like,
agree. It's a
do
more
it from a
dynamic story.
masturbatory
E,
thing.
It's a way more dynamic story
Yeah.
if Mike's involved. I agree. He should probably have to whack off in the jar.
It seems like doesn't it seem like though like that he's now it's just some weird fetish thing that he's been trying to like
right, what if
somehow
it does sort of have that wrinkle to it.
What if Beth gets me started in the last couple minutes? I finish off. Is that fair? Is that fair?
What's to get you started? I mean,
Yeah.
what with a hand job? You know what? I don't mind if you make her give you a hand job and do it.
Yeah, maybe you're restricted to a hand job. If you
Should not be a
That's
blow
fair.
job
That's
or
fair.
like
Okay,
vaginal
I'll give you that.
intercourse.
And again, I think that's fair because we don't want other bodily fluids mixed with this. We want straight up semen
So if it
That's
was
a good
tested and there
point,
was
too.
Beth's saliva in there, that
or her
would alter.
vaginal secretion.
Oh, okay, yeah, good point. All right, that's fair enough. I can hand job from Beth. Are we all cool with that?
That's better for me.
All right, I'm okay with that. Great. Back to Mr. Click.
Sorry.
So this hospice nurse calls and is like, "Yeah, these meds aren't working that you're sending over," and he just hears in the background, as there's an old man like sitting back there. It's not working. He's freaking out. Well, it turns out this pharmacy was sending, morphine bags and hydromorphone bags to these hospices, and they're hooking these patients with like terminal cancer up. Okay, and so these people are laying in bed all day, every day, and they just push their button for relief, and this will continue to drip these pain meds into them just to try to keep them. And so they've got all these patients who are like, none of this is working. What is going on? Well, Click, as the dick he is, was like taking bags of these fluid bags out to the parking lot
That son of a
and
bitch.
drawing out morphine because he was an addict and he had a problem with an opioid addiction, and then he would go back in and he would just put like saline water into these bags, and
That's
so it was
creative.
like just this horribly watered down bag of drugs, and then all these terminal cancer patients, are stuck trying to use this. So anyway, so they ended up doing some research there, and police investigated and found that the supply of morphine sulfate had been tampered with.
Can't imagine Click is the first one to do this. Gotta
Dude.
believe nurses and doctors have been skimming for many, many years.
For sure. I know some of them were doing stuff like taking like needles out of, and drawing some of the meds out of these, tamper-proof vials, and they'd put them in their Coke can, and then they're walking around all day drinking their Coke can with this stuff.
God.
But dude, I know that stuff they take that shit really seriously now. I know there was one day Beth came home, I think, and she had something in her pocket, like a pill package or something that she forgot to like you deliver meds and then you get, there's a whole system for taking those out and someone has to verify it and then someone else has to get it. There needs to be an eyewitness to it for whatever was taken out, and then you go deliver whatever's left over. You have to then do it again and double, verify I was there with her when she turned it in, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes they forget. Sometimes the nurse goes home and then going through her pockets and goes, oh, fuck, I forgot to check out with this or whatever. And so there's a whole system where it's like you immediately have to call your supervisor and then like go back to the hospital.
Did you tackle her before she got to the phone?
No, no, I didn't. I didn't even know what drug it was. I thought that's something, but they don't. It's not easy, and I'm sure there's a workaround for anything. So I'm sure they've figured out ways to skim because that's going on. It is, but it's just shows you the level that this shit can get to. You know what I mean? Where,
oh yeah, there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah,
on this shit.
It's the big one for me. This is the one I've said many times, like that worries me the most. Just in my pathetic way of research, crunching numbers myself. I'm not a mathematician, but when you look at the numbers of people that are taking them and
they
the
are
cost,
walking amongst us.
it is going to be there is a cost that you can't even imagine.
They are walking and talking amongst us.
Yeah,
they are everywhere.
Anyway, we'll see how Mr. Click does. He's facing 10 years for that.
Click.
Yeah, but he thinks he'll get less time because he immediately went to a rehab and is like, I'm being a good boy now. I'm trying to do my thing and show that I'm taking it seriously. So we'll see how Click does. Some of these stories, Jay, bother the shit out of me. Another one of these fat chicks who...
we all have to accept as hot.
Yeah, sort of. This plus-size woman has been fired from her bank job, okay? After her topless photo shoot with her fiance, she was on Fiancé, went viral. Stephanie from Texas is all we know her as. Widely praised. I mean, widely praised for promoting body confidence after the pictures of her and her partner,
So brave.
Aaron, were shared online. I wonder how those were shared online.
Oh, how the hell did those get online?
Oh, it's weird. I mean, so brave to be so utterly gross like that and be brave enough to post those. It's just
Hashtag. So brave.
so brave. She's gonna crush that poor man. Aaron's in trouble,
That
right?
poor man. Aaron's a chubby chaser.
Thank God he's in like mud, so he can
I'm
sink a
trying to
little bit.
find him, dude. Is he just a torso?
Well, look, far right. You see what appears to be a second head?
Does he have legs?
He does.
Is he a Lieutenant Dan?
Yeah. Look at that.
I'm worried about him.
Yeah, poor guy. He's as skinny as can be. He's heroin chic skinny, and she's friggin'
Not.
huge. Anyway, so she's a bank worker, and they fired her because they believe the shoot was inappropriate for a family-oriented company. Do you think they have a decent case?
Yes.
You do? I mean, honestly, like as you've done a lot of employment law, like would that be something where they can go, dude, we do not want our fat bank worker posting these pictures online like
Yeah, they
this.
wouldn't be able to say fat.
Yeah. What would they say? Like,
They'd say it's inappropriate. You're nude.
okay. I was a model employee. I was moving up fast. I had a promotion within 7 months. This one thing for me was the reason I was booted. Describing her reaction to seeing the images for the first time, she told the Huffington Post, I honestly never felt more attractive.
It's all the Roman numeral tats now.
Yeah, those are
Everybody's
big.
doing that.
Yeah. See a lot of these, I don't know, these sleeve roses things.
Tons of
on women.
forearms going on nowadays, huh?
Sure. Yeah, it's not boy, that is a pasty white back, and that is one hell of a thigh,
Do
is
you
it
think
not?
the forearm and the neck are the product of everybody going, you know what, dude, everybody's got tattoos, and
Yeah.
they're all hidden. I'm going to show that I actually have them.
Maybe. The concern was always, like, if you've got showing tattoos, you're unemployable, and that's changed. I mean, there are plenty of people.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah. So she says, I was so nervous to see the final result. I didn't know what to expect, but when I saw the album, I was shocked. I looked so in love and confident.
Good for her.
Some of the sultriest images from the shoot see Stephanie and Aaron sharing a passionate kiss, her legs wrapped around his waist while he rests his arms behind himself. And it's clear they only have eyes for each other. This makes my heart so happy, people were saying, and gives me hope as a plus-size woman that not all men care about what size you are. This is so perfect. Their love for one another shines so bright. Nothing else in the world matters.
What do you think, E?
No, thank you. I don't know what to say. Good for her, I guess.
Yeah. It's great to feel good about yourself.
I'm glad that the guy took her off the market.
Everybody deserves to feel good about themselves. So good for her.
I
The
agree.
bride-to-be noted that in her nearly 2-year-long relationship, her fiance has never once made her feel self-conscious. He loves me for who I am and for who I make him want to become. He has always told me that he doesn't care how I look, that I'm beautiful regardless. And I say that is awesome. That is great.
Keep it off of Facebook.
And that is what you're looking for. You're looking for a guy who loves you for who you are. If Gab ballooned up to 250 pounds, you would stay with her because you love her for more than just what she looks like. And that's all you can ask for out of a person. That's all you can ask for. But this always looks to me like a needy grab for attention from people that don't matter.
Of course.
Doesn't matter.
He
And-
told you that. That's great.
Yeah,
You're solid.
It doesn't matter what Lisa in Tampa thinks of you or how brave you are. You're just begging for compliments to something that really shouldn't be all that complimented. It's like, because honestly, you and your fiance are taking photos before your wedding. So you're telling me that
It's remarkable that your fiance loves you no matter what.
No, I'm thinking like, if I go to your house and you pull out your pre-wedding photos of you and Gab, they're going to be, I'm not going to have to be like, oh, Lord, I didn't need to see that. Like, they're going to be appropriate.
God, Gab's nude.
Maybe, there they are kissing, fully clothed. Wow. In a field full of, roses or whatever.
Nah,
Dandelions.
There's no fields full of
I know,
roses. That would be
fucking dumb. What would it be? Dandelions? A field full of dandelions? Or
Well, those are weeds.
I know,
I
but
think you'd want, a field with lavender.
Okay, great, perfect. And you guys are in your...
Strawberry field.
No, I like lavender because that purple really pops on the photos if you get the right photographer.
The golden grain, maybe.
Okay, some wheat perhaps.
Yeah.
So you and Gab are there both dressed in all white against a lavender background as you guys embrace and look into each other's eyes longingly and then have a kiss. But like this photo album is not something you could have on the kitchen table. Random guests come
Not
over.
traditionally, no.
No. So what you're doing is like trying to shock people and
Looks very much like that.
Yeah.
Looks very much like, let's change attitudes here.
Yeah. And I don't know. To me, it's like, I just see wholly unhealthy. I'm sorry, wholly. Like, this is not something to be bragged about. I don't think you should be made fun of for it. And I think you should absolutely find love. And I'm glad you found Aaron. That's amazing. Good for him. Good for you. I hope you guys live happily ever after. But this idea that we promote this is like, no shame. I'm 400 pounds. Look at me. I'm hot in my thong. It's like, no. You're not. I mean, I'm not going to shame you on Facebook or something, but Do
you have any interest in seeing Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner? I kind of do.
Wait, is that the movie?
Blade Runner 2049 is coming out this Friday.
Oh, see, there's another Blade Runner coming out.
What do you mean?
Oscar Pistorius movie
Oh,
that they pulled this week from its showings, like in like early release festivals or
Yeah.
something, because of the shooting in Texas. And so I didn't know which Blade Runner you were
Yeah,
talking
Blade
about.
Runner. Remember with Harrison Ford, 1982? It was
Yeah.
a groundbreaking film. Was
Why-
it Stanley Kubrick who did that? It was just it was shot in really a
Maybe.
nouveau way.
It kind of reminds me of I don't know why I'm thinking this, but what was the Mad Max? Is it kind of like that, like a totally
Apocalyptic
different?
sort of.
Yeah.
Well,
like
it actually took place in 2019, but it was about androids and how androids are
Yeah.
sent to colonize other planets, I think. But something goes awry, and so Harrison Ford is like a cop, basically a future cop who has to bring order to that.
Gotcha.
This doesn't
Yeah, who did that? Was it Kubrick?
doesn't look like it.
No,
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. Okay, of Alien fame as well.
Yep.
Ridley Scott.
Yep. Why do you bring that
coming
up
out
and want to
Friday.
see it? Really? Why do you want to see it? Just like interested in?
Yeah,
Did you like the original?
I remember seeing it as a kid, and I haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
I just saw parts of it on TV, I think.
Yeah.
And so it kind of
Is it supposed to be
my interest with a cue.
a sequel,
It is
kind
a
of. It's
sequel.
not. It's not just a remake.
I believe Harrison Ford is actually in it, and I think it's a sequel. Like,
Yeah.
the Baby Goose is the new detective guy.
Gotcha. They're starting to do that
30
too.
years later.
Not necessarily remake, but like continue a story. I know they're doing that with Halloween
Yeah.
as well.
Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter was just
Right.
cast. I forget who they cast for that, but
That's right. And I thought I saw Danny McBride wrote it or something.
who's that?
Danny McBride is the what's the baseball player on HBO that was just like fucking
Are you serious? Kenny Powers?
Kenny Powers? Yeah. You ever see Kenny Powers
No.
or
Kenny fucking Powers.
what else would Jay know him from? I mean, he's in Vice Principals now
Yeah.
on HBO.
Oh, I can picture those two guys. The guy with the mustache?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
So
it was.
he wrote Halloween?
I think he and someone else like wrote
weird.
of like a a revamp of Halloween, but not a total remake. So I don't know that, but that's coming out in like a week or two, right before Halloween. So I don't know what to expect from that. By the way, I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm last night.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. You couldn't talk about it. I'm just saying I haven't
They
seen it.
have not missed a beat, dude.
Nice.
It is fucking hilarious.
Awesome.
Fucking hilarious. Did you like Curb or you haven't seen much?
Dude, I've never watched Curb.
You like Seinfeld?
Yeah.
You will
better.
love
It's
Curb,
better.
dude. It's better than
I
Seinfeld.
hope so.
It's so good. And the new season kicks off, and it's just like, oh my God, this is what's been missing from the TV landscape is Larry David.
Awesome.
It's
I'm
so
so
good.
excited.
What's it on?
HBO. Yeah, so you can watch it there. But yeah, check it out. I think you'll
I
like
know.
it.
I will. Trust me.
How we doing for email,
We
Jay?
do have some email. Before I get to email, I'd like to engage in the reading of some short posts. We
Sure.
have post from the Val Raven. Is the
Nice.
picture
Oh,
here.
the ride?
Yeah, at the Cedar Point America's Roller Coast.
Yeah.
Opened in 1870.
The Val Raven didn't open in 1870.
No,
That's
the
outrageous.
Cedar Point did.
Oh, okay.
The full park is 364 acres. That's all. That's their problem.
And dude,
Yeah.
That's their problem,
putting
man.
it-
Space.
I know. But they still do it.
They
They're finding a
finagle
way.
it around. They take out old shitty ones, the Wildcat
Right.
or whatever, and they redo.
Right. They're doing it with them.
And they're on a point, though. It's not
They
like
are
they
on a
can.
point. They
it's-
can't-
They can't do
Yeah.
anything about that. You know.
It's crazy.
My family and I stayed in Campers Village during Labor Day weekend. After the park, the park becomes Hollow weekends. Have you guys ever done Hollow
I
weekends?
have.
Is
Pretty
it good?
cool. It's cool.
I've
They do a
seen
good
the
job.
ads for it. I think when we were there, they were advertising.
What's different about it?
I don't know. They do a lot with decorations throughout the park, and there's like kind of little
Haunted
haunted
houses.
houses and
Yeah.
stuff. It was
No,
cool.
gotcha. It boasts the tallest, fastest, longest dive coaster in the world, which is Val Raven. Security's tight though. While waiting in line, one of the trains was stopped amid 223-foot climb. A passenger had a GoPro. Yes, a GoPro. Another Cedar Point worker had to climb hundreds of steps to retrieve it.
Wow.
They don't want anything online, huh? San Dimas High Football rules. And this is from who's this from, man?
I don't know.
They don't say. Some guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
On to the reading of email. Ryan writes in, I have a theory that no one is putting forward concerning the Las Vegas shooting. Not being a smartass, but has anyone looked into this guy's gaming history? Back in high school, we'd play PS2's Grand Theft Auto. The levels were too long and complicated, so we'd inevitably just go on top of a building and start shooting random people until our stars were all lit up and run from the cops.
I did the same thing. I don't think I ever finished a mission. I would just get in my car and be like, well, here's a gun. Let me just start killing people.
$10 says we find out he slept with a hooker, then killed her and took her money. Another game plot. Loved the game as a kid. As a parent, I can see why my mom was pissed. What the fuck kind of game is that? Still fun as shit. JD, run into this type of stuff with Russ and Manny. It's funny you say that. Grand Theft Auto, the boys have kind of gone back to recently. And just last night, Gab and I were watching them play, and we were like, they had their headsets on, and they were playing Joe from down the street.
I can't believe they would play this in front of you.
And up walks Joe. They're like, hey, there's Joe, and they're at some amusement park or something. We're like,
just shoot him.
There's Gab and I going, don't
shoot him."
shoot Joe. Don't. Joe's a nice boy. Guys, don't hit. Stop hitting Joe.
Bang.
Don't hit Joe. It's ridiculous.
Dude, the game is so funny because I would do that. Like, I'd go to the seedy part of town in my car, and I'd get out and they'd be like, hey, baby, you want some blah, blah, blah. And you can bang hookers in your car. And so I'd hop out of my car, and I'd just walk up to them, and they'd be walking away, and I'd just be like, bam, and punch them in the back of the head. And they'd
Oh,
fall
Mike.
down. I'd steal their money,
My God.
kick them, and then maybe shoot them, maybe not, and then I'd get back in my car, maybe run them over. And then I would leave, and now the cops are all mad at me for some reason, and my stars are lighting up.
It's funny. Never did the boys encounter any hookers while Gab and I are in the vicinity of them playing this.
I'm assuming that's still in the game, but yeah.
Can you turn off the hooker aspect of the game?
I don't know.
They're everywhere.
I don't. Maybe they're not.
I mean,
in the game
I'll see
anymore.
one of them like steal a helicopter and go flying around and shit. They're always stealing shit.
You probably wouldn't know, and they probably wouldn't be dumb enough to stop with a hooker in front of you and let her in the car, and have the car going. But if they just look like a pedestrian walking by, you can usually tell. I think by the fishnet short things they're wearing. Sometimes
Streetwalker style.
they'll engage you, but if you drive away, whatever. And Russell and Manny seem like guys that would drive away. And
Are they
not
girls like
engage.
pushing shopping carts down the street with a big flat screen TV in them?
No, not usually, but that'd be a nice addition for the next series. If any of the creators of, I believe it's Rockstar Games that makes Grand Theft Auto, if you guys are listening, feel free to use that.
Bob writes in, I finally got off my ass and signed up to be a member. You guys are the highlight of my day. Hung one, not slim one, and tarred one. Listening to Poem 909, you had mentioned that one Mr. Doug Michaelis was stumping for a remake of Flatliners. What a shock that Hollywood is doing another remake instead of coming up with something new. You were talking about the movie's premise. From what I remember, says Bob, they were medical students and would purposely stop their hearts, thus killing them, and then wait to restart their hearts to see what awaited them on the other side. I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
When they came back, some of their afterworld problems came back with them and would appear in their dreams, but were real. I have to admit, I liked this movie better the first time I saw it. It was called Nightmare on Elm Street. Why do I remember this? Because Kiefer Sutherland's character was constantly getting his ass kicked by a little African-American girl that he treated horribly as a child. I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate.
No?
I think Billy Mahoney was the kid who was kicking his ass. Billy Mahoney was this little dude in a red hoodie, and he was probably 10 years old, and he would just, bam! He would just clobber Kiefer.
Really?
Yeah.
A 10-year-old? Why didn't he fight back?
I don't think he could in this dream state.
Oh, okay.
Billy would just kick his ass. Little Mahoney. But Bob remembers it differently. He says the young girl was beating the shit out of Kiefer in his dreams, and he'd wake up daily with new bruises, cuts, black eyes. I really think it was Mahoney.
Yeah.
So why do I remember the premise of this candy-ass 80s movie? Because I was not kind to a neighbor girl who was like Eric. Sorry, I mean a retard.
Sure.
Bob says the problem is she's 6'3", 300 pounds.
Oh.
That movie freaked me out because I know if that's true, I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me bigly.
Yeah.
The good news is that you can only burn in hell once, so I've got that going for me.
Yeah, but it's an eternal burn.
Bobbert.
You know what I mean?
Bob.
Like,
Yeah, to suggest it's only once and it won't
Yeah,
be a big deal is not.
It's
I mean,
one
yeah.
long one.
he flicks the bick on you once, but okay, now you're just in an eternal state of burn. I don't know.
Alicia writes in, Big E, hello, my favorite with an OUR podcast. Just wanted to say, new Big E sucks. I was one of the few listeners who always really liked E. One could say I myself share some of his similar quirks with him. Fellow listener Scott from the North can confirm this. Big E used to handle criticism very goodly, and now he just says, no, 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 no. I don't care. Say what you want. It's boring, and honestly, Big E's new stance brings a single tear to my eye.
Well, hopefully
Sad
the
face.
semen flute will,
This will
fire
not
some people
change my love for the Detroit cast, says Alicia.
I don't know what I've done.
Even Big E, yours truly. Winky face!
I don't know what I've done.
Nice.
Well,
Nice
you
job,
know.
E. Offending listeners. Great.
Change your attitude with
By
all
be-
your,
by
your
become-
body highs.
You mean by becoming more happy with life? Is that what? Sorry.
I think that's part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop being so happy, you son
Sorry,
of a bitch.
I apologize. I'll try to be more cynical and mad.
Tim
There you
writes
go.
in, subject line, not a boner pill email. This is about the Seeger concert. Hello, fat shamer, prouder Willie blamer, and couldn't be lamer. I wanted to chime in on your recent discussion regarding the Bob Seger show at the Palace of Auburn Hills. I was lucky enough to be at said show, and without a doubt, it was one of the best concerts I have ever attended. Seeger put on a hell of a show. It was beyond impressive seeing a 72-year-old perform with such energy and with a voice that remained strong the entire time. But enough about the show. The real reason for my email is to let you know that I might have recruited a new DCAST listener as I was waiting for the concert to begin. I wore my circa 2015 Detroit Cast shirt that has the TDC on the back spelled out with various words commonly used on the show. All of a sudden, from the row behind me, I hear, "Why does your shirt have 844 fuckface written on it?" I turned around and explained to the guy that, in fact, it said 844 Fukfase,
Very good.
and proceeded to talk to him about the show. After a few minutes, he said, sounds like a show I'd like. So I again told him how to listen and said he wouldn't be disappointed. I'd say I'd give the guy a shout out, but between the numerous 22-ounce Budweisers I drank and the contact buzz from the person sitting in front of me, I can't remember what his name was. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Hopefully the new guys listening, your show gets me through my 60-plus hour weeks, and I'd be lost without it. Goodbye, BUI Tim. P.S. Postscript. I can confirm with 100% certainty that women piss like a thumb over a garden hose. As I was waiting in line for the bathroom at the Seeger show, this skank comes busting past the line for the men's room and attempts to piss in a sink. Keyword,
please.
Keyword attempts.
Yeah.
Between her very inebriated state and a lack of urethra control, most of her piss either went all over the front of the sink or on the floor.
Of course.
The worst
What
part.
would you do? Like, did she go ass into the sink?
Yeah, I guess.
Surprised that thing would hold.
I know. The worst part was when she was done, she turns facing the line with her skirt still hiked up, grabs some paper towel from the dispenser, wipes her vagine, and throws it onto the floor as she walks out of the men's room. What a skank.
Dude, that is hilarious.
Ugh.
That sounds like a girl I want to see at a concert myself. She'll put it
Just
out.
taking a paper towel and just kind of
kidding.
I know.
just roughly.
Chuck it on the, spikes it, and walks
It's funny at a
out.
Seeger. I just wouldn't picture that at a Seeger concert, only because the people that
There's
go there.
drunk people everywhere,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess
I'm
you're right.
just disappointed that someone in that bathroom didn't pull out an iPhone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we should have video of this.
Bob, NFL Bob writes in, jurist, racist, and onanist. Anybody? Onanist? Who'da thunk, after years of Mike and Jay prodding Ephus to come out of the closet and declare himself a homosexual, it turns out that Jay beats, nay, blows away E in coming out of the closet. Gross. Jay fancies himself an interior decorator. Cut, print, gay. Good day and goodbye, BUI NFL Bob.
I think he's just more comfortable in his skin.
I've got an eye. What can I do?
Yeah. I mean, it's a gift. Use it.
I will. In the meantime, we'll save the rest for tomorrow.
All right. I think we're going to talk to Dick Morris tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a weird past. I mean, he's written a book about...
Former Clinton advisor
Yeah.
turned Fox
Campaign
News
manager.
pundit.
He was campaign manager for Bill Clinton in '96 until unfortunate incident just a couple weeks before the official election.
These things happen.
They do. Maybe involve the Washington, was it the D.C. Madam or something?
Might have involved
Yeah.
sucking on toes. Who knows?
You know, to each their own, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we're going to talk to him tomorrow. We'll look forward to that. And with that, thanks everybody for hanging with us today. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Oh